Hey, welcome everyone to the Sketchstone podcast. I'm Carlos Gomez, and it's just going to be us because we got some things to say this week.
Yep.
Just kidding. We're going to have fun.
Yeah.
So, everyone, please welcome Charlie B. Williams III.
Oh yeah. Go ahead and clap for me. That's great.
Clap for me. Clap for me.
Can we have another round of applause? Our audio guys. I had to get real close to the mic. I'm so excited.
Yes. It's so wonderful when the live studio audience is here. That, my friends, that's because Jack Kasperzak is also here with us. So, hi.
Wow, Jack, you're not gonna say hi?
Who's got? Wait, what's that?
Okay, Google, no, stop.
Yo.
Yes.
Yeah, Google, speak up. Don't let him hide you in a box. Google's free thought.
All right.
She's a person too.
Everyone good? Everyone having a good time?
Having a great time.
Yeah.
Great.
So real quick, if you are watching live on YouTube or Twitch, go ahead and leave us messages on the chat and we will get to them as soon as we can.
Yeah.
Which is basically almost right away because this is live.
Yeah.
But if you're not listening live, you can always reach us at 408. That's right, folks. You can use the Sketchstone hotline. It's 408-753-8248. That's 408-SKETCH-8. International callers, please use 011-408-753-8248. Oh, leave your name. Let us know who you are. So at least that way we can be like, hey, Chauncey from Babalamas.
Chauncey.
Babalamas.
Chauncey's amazing. Dude's awesome.
Babalamas. Where might that be located?
Babalam.
Sure.
So let's go ahead and start rocking with this one because this was surprisingly a very fun Sketchstone fun prompt for the week.
Oh yeah.
Bam! So this week or last week's fun prompt was which house?
Nice.
So let's see. First off, we have Tony Cartoonish. He chimed in with this. This is funny.
Get exploded.
This maybe a little too close to home with Jack's current situation, but
That's what my neighbor's house looks like.
That's some scary stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Did you guys happen to see, going off on a little bit of a tangent, you guys happen to see that the video of the guy in traffic and the Hollywood Hills were on fire?
Yeah, it looked
I
like
thought that was fake.
Movie. Me too.
I thought that was fake. And then I thought it was just a tacky thing. And I was like, okay, special effects people, you've gone too far. And then I saw that footage on the news and I was like, ooh, they're not even playing.
Well, it could still be fake, even though it's on the news.
Yeah.
Oh, Jack.
So check out Shiloh. This is hilarious.
Kills it
Which
every
house?
week.
Fun prompt.
I like the creaky.
Joe has always been a little suspicious of his neighbor.
Old Joe.
Mm-hmm. Nice.
Brody Farrell chimed in with this one. This is very, who am I thinking of?
What are you talking about? Oh, the style?
Yeah. There's someone, I'm thinking of someone. I just can't think of it. But it's like one of the masters. Painting masters.
A little Van Gogh-ish.
That's probably who I'm thinking of.
Mm-hmm. Because the circles or whatever.
Yeah.
I used to be had spirals in the sun.
Yeah. So yeah, I thought that was real cool.
Dude, what's the guy who painted the Scream?
Yeah.
Edward What's his name?
Isn't he like from Spain?
Mm,
Anyway, we'll
Yeah.
we'll think of it. Here's Bad Art Corner. He's contributing every week. This is very cool. When I first saw it, I thought it was Dave Etsy, and then I saw it that it was Bad Art Corner. I was like, get after it, Bad Art Corner. Boom.
I like the name.
Oh, Monk, Edward Monk. That's right.
Oh,
Spelled Munch.
Munch.
Edward Munch.
This is a really cool Tony cartoonish.
Yeah, I like the floating island business. It's got the broomstick tied up so it doesn't float away.
Right. And then we got Maddie Mitchell Books. Maddie's chiming in with a nice little treat there. I'd like this one too. There's a lot of mobile homes, and by mobile I mean flying this week.
yeah.
But good job, thanks, Maddie, for kicking in. Nicotopin came in with this guy. Got a little black cat up there. Got some drawers hanging in the
Yes.
on the.
Just want you to know that the Twitch stream is real right now. We are live and synced.
What up, Twitch?
This is the best fun prompt segment. I have the bigger version on the screen right now. It's perfect.
Yeah, boy. Yeah, boy. Oh, here's another one. Yeah, another mobile home action. Dare 1127, another regular contributor. Thank you, Dare.
Things holding the brooms are like molded hands.
Yes, it's just like, you know what? Broomsticks can fly. I just need more broomsticks connected to my house. And
my house is turbo. And look at the witch is just rolling. She's
with her hand off to the side.
She's on her way. She's running errands.
She's riding dirty.
She's
riding
dirty.
I gotta go to Trader Joe's real quick.
Yeah.
Bubbles, Buttercup, and Pup chimed in. This is a really cool one.
This one. It's color.
Anyone whose house is made out of ice cream, I'm down.
Well, see, you be one of them kids. Yeah, that wasn't good. Wasn't good for Hansel and Gretel, though. I'm just trying to tell you.
No, they ended up killing the witch. They killed that witch.
Yeah, in the light version, how many people that witch ate in that real real version?
little bad snake ass kids.
Hansel and Gretel got there.
Here's one by Pointless by Sayashi.
This one's kind of cool though too. This is like this feels like children's book.
Got a little Christmas ornaments happening right there. Getting ready for, because Halloween is over.
Yeah,
which is apparently,
and we're doing this is a Christmas witch,
which is apparently don't believe in Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Thank you, Salem witch trials.
Dang.
Yours truly. I'm witch, bitch.
Waiting for it.
So yeah.
Girl's got a mad nasty.
Yo, what's with the next one? That'll be awesome.
She gave a tour. She gave MTV a tour of her house. They ended up in the garage. She's got all them rides there. Yeah, boy.
I want to see her ride the vacuum cleaner. That's like her Lambo. That's like her. That's the one that costs the most.
The vacuum cleaner sucks. Yeah.
He went
proud. Be proud.
This one, I thought this one was hilarious.
Okay, yeah.
Came in drawn by Sean.
Yeah, which house? Why are you asking me? I'm asking you.
Hey, who's up first?
Look at those cops' faces.
Yeah, I like the faces. The detail on the line work's pretty cool in there.
They're like 40 years of service in both of those faces.
But what's crazy is they're only 24.
Yeah, right? Yo, it's the mean streets of the burbs, man. They took its toll on them.
Arlington Heights streets get rough.
Yo! I like how you just thought of the random Arlington Heights. Mean streets of Berwyn.
I lived in Berwyn for a hot second.
I know.
So yeah, thanks everyone who participated. And with that, as always, I reach over and grab our trusty.
I believe every day's a good day when you paint.
That's right. So I have our trusty cards, and the way it goes is I go ahead and lay these down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hey Google, pick a random number between 1 and 5.
Okay.
You don't have to think that hard.
4.
4.
Do we do the
Oh,
old school?
damn
Like,
it.
What'd she
4
pick?
is not my favorite.
ooh, got you.
What'd she pick?
An environment.
We did that last time.
You might need to exercise your. Can we exercise our
Right.
at this point, or are we too?
Oh
early?
man.
Got to do it. Come on. You don't want the environment, do you?
All right, so the rules are if we like the first one, we draw it. If we don't like it, we draw again, or we refresh the page. And whatever shows up, we have to draw.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So the first one is a castle built into the side of a mountain.
I mean, yeah, sure, fine. It's like nothing special.
I guess. Whatever.
should we refresh?
I think you should refresh. You guys haven't refreshed in like weeks.
That's dangerous, but all right.
Throw some balls.
All right.
Let's go.
Let's see.
Listen to me. I'm always egging
I don't
on.
know if I have enough paper for a mountain, a
can't
proper mountain.
So dumb. It's so bad. It's gonna be awful.
Well, okay. Okay. This one might be a little bit better. A spacious hangar filled with Macs.
Max. Mech.
Mechanized. Yeah,
Mex.
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 Cans.
I could see some folks on this thing getting into that.
Hell yeah. I need to reach out to DaCosta. Be like, yo, let me hold some of your little robots, dude.
Let me hold your robot. Let me hold this robot for a week.
All right. Is that the one that we want to do?
I mean,
Quit trying to get out of it. You can't read it and not do it.
let's do it.
All right.
This is all you guys.
A hangar
That's
built with Max.
Right now,
I wish Shiloh was on right now, so then he could actually. Because if Shiloh's like, yeah, no, I'd be like, all right, cool, let's refresh.
Like how Shiloh don't got that kind of power. What are you talking?
Oh yeah, he does.
Sure does.
Shiloh can draw everything. So if Shiloh says, listen, that's dumb, I'm gonna be like, that's dumb as hell. All right, kids. So it's a spacious hangar filled with Macs. So that is the sketch zone fun prompt. Please
Tell your friends. Tell your
your
wife.
friends.
Tell your husband.
Your friends, tell your wife. Nice.
Yep. So
Sketching.
Guys are not feeling it.
I'm not. Yeah, no.
So yeah,
I have to tear up that environment card.
Well, we have the witch house.
just doesn't show up.
Yeah, the witch house was fun. It was fun. Yeah. It doesn't say what kind of Macs we have to draw. Like all of a sudden, I'm gonna have like micro Macs. You just see a big empty room with a bunch of dots in it. Those are micro Macs. One of the other art contests, even though this isn't really a contest, the Sketch Zone Fun prompt isn't really a contest. It's just kind of a way to get all of us drawing and participating in a community effort to let everyone know that, here, draw this. We're all going to draw this and let's feed off of it, right? So
Great.
there are a couple art contests out there. One of them, Charlie B. Williams wanted to talk to us about.
Yeah. So the one I want to talk to you about this week, we talk about this website every week. Usually it shows up in the our inspiration section of the show, but it's ArtStation. So artstation.com. Pull it up for the people. Got to give it to the people.
Gotta give the things to the people, and the people do the things.
People. I don't know why we do it. Whatever. Bad influence, Carlos. That's not what I was saying. It was
You gotta get the things with the things over there that the people in the yellow putting pop.
So artstation.com is a place where you can have your own portfolio, and it's also art community. The way they foster that community is through different types of events, podcasts. They are integrated with Twitch and live streaming and all this good stuff. Everything art. And they have a section on ArtStation. As you can see, I have ArtStation up. If you're watching on Twitch, on YouTube, head over to Twitch, check it out. They have a section called Challenges. So I'm going to click on the challenges here. I'm going to push it over to the live view so you can see it. And right now, this is the challenge page. So the challenges for this time is called, current challenge is called, what is it, Charlie? There it is, Beneath the Waves. So here's how ArtStation's challenges go, right?
Dare I say under the sea?
Can we get this up on the YouTube one?
Share your screen, son. Share your screen.
Oh, yeah. Let me share my screen.
That's going to create an infinity loop. Watch out.
Let's do this. We can do this. We'll be okay. We'll be okay.
Or I can share mine.
Will we be okay? Yeah, we'll be okay. We can do this. We'll be okay.
Oh, it's looping.
We'll be okay.
It's looping.
Will we be? Why is
It's looping.
How's it looping though?
He's kidding. He means it's pooping.
Stop scaring me, Jack. Anyway, you guys are like distracted.
No, it's looping. Stop it.
Oh man.
You guys are like distracting this week. Why is it looping? Who's muted? Mute me somewhere. Looping.
I can't with this.
Who's muted? Mute me somewhere. Oh man.
So are we gonna talk about this, or what are we doing?
We can talk about this. He totally derailed me. Jack totally freaked me out. Anyway, so with this here, you have different challenges, and in the challenge they have different waves. So with the different waves, you have, it kind of highlights each profession in the production environment, right? So for the first part of the challenges, be quiet, Jack. For the first part of the challenges, it's all about 2D, right? So concept art and design, and they want you to either design a prop, design an environment, sounds similar, right? Or I'm trying really hard not to laugh, or some type of like game environment or film res prop, so it's all 2D. So like in pre-production, there's a lot of concept and stuff like that. This is where all the 2D artists get in and like they do their really cool Beneath the Waves concept. So you can see here, if I go here on this guy, he did a concept art and it talks about the challenges and the rules, but I can go to announcements, and it talks about any announcements. So past people, artists that were in the different challenges come back and become moderators for their genre, if you will, and they answer any questions. And as you can see, there's a bunch of 2D art that is provided based on who all entered the challenge, and then that goes for about 4 weeks or so. And then something happens. At that time, they start the second part of the challenge. So if I go back here, and then they bring in all the other different departments. And what happens is that sometimes people use the 2D art from the pre-production part of the challenge into their like designing of their environments or modeling of a prop, et
Ah,
cetera, et
that's
cetera.
cool.
So it's kind of cool, and obviously quote me if I'm wrong, but that's how they generally have done it in the past. So here's an environment design here from a guy, looks real cool.
See if they
And-
have any spacious hangars filled with Macs.
Yeah, I'm not finding your stuff this week. No.
I need my homework done.
And then so it's really cool. And then they have a couple different levels, and let me tell you the levels officially so you can see, and maybe there's something in there for you. So under this section here, they show all the people, all the challenge hosts. If you want to know who's in your section, what environment artists they found from what studio, or what concept artist or art director they found from what film or whatever, you can see who's a host. Like I know Matthew here, he's a really good environment artist. He's in that section answering questions. You got people like Frankie DeRosa. He works over at Blur. He's in for the film and VFX character art section. You got Alexandra, freelance film effects prop artist. Susan over freelance character design. So you can kind of like go and look at their websites and say, okay, cool. This person knows what they're doing. They'll give me really good feedback for this section. So it's really cool. It's a really cool way. What's up?
Or will they?
They will. Because like people that like sign up and volunteer to help out with these are really into doing these challenges. It's a great way to do personal art and hone your skills, for whatever section. And it kind of like they kind of go in and they represent everybody. So here's like a really cool prop one. I always thought was cool for the prop stuff. And then then the other thing you have to do is you have to submit. So you have to then you can join the challenge, and then once you join the challenge, you sign away some legal stuff, which is nothing big, but it's just general stuff. And then it's kind of like a forum. Remember, ArtStation is kind of like a forum. So you have your own little section, and you post every day, or you have to post your progress. You have to post every day, but you post your progress. And as you post your progress, you're also supposed to go around to the other parts of the challenge and comment on people's stuff and kind of view how engaged you are with the community. Also, the other twist they do is you can do Twitch streams. So you probably got to put some type of hashtag in or some type of title into your Twitch stream, and then they could then broadcast your Twitch stream on ArtStation. So if Carlos was working on a Friday night on the Beneath the Waves challenge on ArtStation's Twitch stream, he could be featured on their Twitch Twitch page, and then also be featured on the main website when people are coming to the website. Because it's kind of a cool way of showing your progress and your work in progress also. So they're integrating the whole Twitch feel to it also, which is really, really cool. So
I started doing that too with the one prompt.
Nice.
It's really cool. There was one evening it was me and Jack and Shiloh were both watching, and I was like, this is cool.
Yeah. and they got something for everything. Once again, I reiterate, they got the keyframe concept art section. You have your character / creature design that you can enter in. You have your environment design. You have your prop design. You have your game character art. That's the real time for all you real time people, game environment level art. So if you're environment artist or whatever, if you're in film, you got your film / VFX character art. We know that those are all those guys using all those texture maps, those UDIMs and all that good stuff, instead of having everything down on one map, high res stuff. And then you have your prop art rendered, for that section. And then, so they're accepting registration right now, and they're accepting submissions. Each of these sections you can go to under challenges on ArtStation. If you want to look real quick here, if I click on challenges here and then look at some of the past challenges, sometimes they've done stuff for different themes, right? So, okay, so here's the submissions. You can start to see people are already starting to submit stuff. here for this underwater stuff. And look here, they go in here and they do this whole, work in progress thread, right? So early shell block out and how this guy is developing this weird eel type tick type character, and then people are posted on it. So this is what used to happen in that famed community called Polycount for the game artists and stuff like that. It was known to be really harsh critiques. You post your stuff, you post your portfolio. When I teach, I used to have my students post on Polycount, and they used to get their stuff ripped up, and it was hilarious. But it helped, it helped them. But they'd be like, "Why are you laughing, Charlie?" I said, "Because this is hilarious. You see what this guy wrote? He's also kind of being a dick at the same time, but." Get a thick skin because it's what you need. ArtStation is not as harsh, obviously, but it's cool to put your stuff out there and then people comment on your designs early on. So it's really cool. I'm really a fan of process. I know Jack and Carlos are a fan of the process of a piece. So you can really see how somebody takes all these different inputs, kind of like when you're at studio or you're working with a bunch of people or you're working with friends, how their design changes based on what they initially thought and how it changes for the better, based on all their submissions. But at the bottom here, if I get past the submissions and I scroll all the way down,
all the way down,
down. A lot of people.
Jam.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Where's the old ones? Oh, Past Challenge Rare is actually a link at the top. All right, so they had Beyond Human, which is a video game. It's got a really unique style, hybrid style. They did a Beyond Human challenge. They've done Beyond Human. What else? They've done. Remember that crazy conference it's a dream conference I would like to go to. That the Trojan Horse Unicorn. Have you guys heard of that conference?
No, what's that?
It's a conference over in Europe they have every year. Kind of like, remember conceptart.org and how they used to have those crazy massive black type conferences? It's kind of like that, but the conference is called the Trojan Horse Unicorn. They had a challenge, and I think you could get a golden ticket. That's crazy. I didn't know they did this one. So you get a golden ticket to this crazy challenge. Here, we'll do this. We'll go to the website. So this is the site. We have to talk about this one time. This is a crazy epic conference you can go to, and they have all type of live speakers and people who talk, and it's a really big community of artists and stuff like that. But it's all these greats, in the industry, and there's all these different talks. Check out this site. We'll put the link in the show notes. This is one of those really cool conferences that I just don't have the money to go to. It's kind of far. I don't know if it's in Switzerland. Where's this ticket at? If I say get tickets, where is it at? There's all these master classes. I don't know where it is this year. We'll find out, for it. But it's a really cool site. Their site is extra as F. Because why is it got to be this minimalistic? But it's cool. So have you ever seen those old massive black conferences where the higher models, they have all these amazing concept artists just drawing live and talking about their process and stuff like that. It's really cool. They call the artists knights, I think. So they say meet the knights, and I think I like this guy. This Sergio guy is a really cool guy that does a lot of stuff. And so they have all these different artists that'll be there.
That looks real.
That's him. That's him. Sharp. But it's cross genre. It's not just concept. It's film. It's movies. There's some 3D guys. There's some effects guys. It's a really cool conference. Oh, look at that. That's him drawing in tilt brush. Nice. That's cool. So it's all type of artists. But it's really cool. I wish they would have it in the United States, but it's over somewhere else. But it's really cool. I think Justin Goby Fields has been at it. It's talked at it, and Ash Thorpe and a couple other more famous artists and stuff like that. But yeah, so that's that. So what they did was they had an art station challenge around getting a golden ticket to go to this thing. So that was the prize or whatever.
And then was was someone dressed up like Willy Wonka?
Yeah, I knew you were gonna go there with it. Yeah, probably in a top hat and everything. So here's the winner of this one. This guy won.
I'm getting predictable.
Yeah,
I have
you
to
are.
change it up.
It's okay. This guy won. This guy was the one who won, I think, the first
Oh,
place.
wow, that's freaking awesome.
Yeah,
Sweet Christmas.
you know. I don't know. I don't know if you guys realize this is just this whole segment that I get to do. This is just a way for me to show off art stuff early. Outside of artist inspiration.
Two freaking artist inspirations.
I just look at this. So this is cool. I love this site. I love that they do this, and like they don't go real crazy with it. Sometimes they'll have it because for a while in the industry there was a lot of different sites devoted to these challenges, and you have thousands of artists internationally join, and like you had all the sponsors of like Wacom and all these people giving away Intuoses and all this stuff, and then there was a whole big fallout with one of these other sites called I think Game Artisans, where they weren't sure where all the money was going and all this crazy stuff. I like that they've like ArtStation knew about all that stuff back in the day or early 2000s or whatever, and they kind of like really streamlined these conferences or these contests to be just about the art and stuff like that. And maybe they have a good mixture of ones for crazy prizes and ones just for like you get a little emblem by your name on ArtStation that you won. You get a little certificate saying you competed in an international conference contest, and then you also get like a T-shirt or something. So it's more like the bragging rights, how it should be, And obviously, if we always talk about how this affects professional. Obviously, you put that on your like resume. I would. This is me thinking, blast that stuff off on social media, your LinkedIn. It means something when people come to your like portfolio page on ArtStation because you should have multiple places online where people can look at your work because of exposure. But like it'll mean something. It's not just like don't just look for those contests where you can try to win a Wacom tablet. It doesn't always have to be like that. This is more about pushing your personal art. So
and that's a conversation. That's a conversation that I've had a number of times with some of the artists that are out there. They say, "Oh, I need to draw something," and I say, "Well, the Sketch Zone Fun prompt is which house, for example." And they say, "Well, explain to me why doing." The Sketch Zone Fun prompt, how does that benefit me? And I was like,
so you can go two ways here. You can get ignorant with this response,
and I wanted to,
or you can be like sarcastic, like really you don't understand how. Why don't you say that to yourself 5 times and then you tell me why how. That's what somebody's mom or daddy or teacher would do back in school. He can make you restate the question and be like, well, I guess it can help.
Have you say that out loud.
Yeah, of course it can help. It's about pushing your artwork, and right now that just sounds like being laxed. Being laxed.
You're gonna say,
especially if you're a 2D artist, do it. Do you get that question a lot, Carlos?
Yeah.
Because they think it's a contest, really?
Yeah. Yeah. Huh. Like why would and it takes me aback. Like
look at this one.
I don't know. Listen, the 3 of us get together and we work really hard to do this, and we're not making any money off of this. None.
All right, I kind of got it.
I don't know if you guys are. I've been getting paid.
I said the same thing.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
I was just saying that. I was like, I gotta deal off of this. Why do you think I'm pushing this ArtStation right now?
That's right, because Tyrus had to deal with Red Bull.
Red Bull, right? Got this ArtStation money right now.
Damn it! I gotta talk to my lawyer.
Yeah, my rep has been doing me well.
Yeah, but I mean, besides the fact that we show your work
right
on the podcast, there's strength in numbers. I don't care what it is that you're doing. I don't care. Well, I mean, I'm sure that that we can probably find a flaw in that statement, but generally speaking, there's strength in numbers.
Right.
So you can go out there and you can draw a picture of a witch's house and put it on Instagram. People will be like, oh, okay, cool, that's cute, right? But if you get that team mentality and folks are drawing the same thing and then they're comparing their work to your work, your idea to their idea, you being clever, or you being, whatever the case may be, there's a lot more people that are paying attention to that one topic.
Right.
How many people can go out there and do an underwater scene and then post it somewhere? And that's just it. Like, the internet is getting inundated with a bunch of work.
Yeah.
But if people know that every week they're going to be able to see a bunch of artists at the Sketch Zone page, that's why we share everyone's artwork, because then they can go there, they can see what the topic is, and then they can see your work, and then if they really like it, then they can dig deeper. See how that works?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and not even that, just like the weird like self-contradictory thing and saying I need to draw something, but what's the benefit of me drawing? Like,
Yeah.
you just said,
What's
you gotta
for
draw
me?
something, so just draw it. Like, if it's something you want to do, like it's there. It's a free prompt. It's an idea. Like, if you're gonna
Right.
be, and like if you're gonna be drawing anyway, like why not participate in something that's a little bit larger and that can meet you new contacts, and like you said, all the stuff, pretty much everything you just said. Like, why not?
Right.
No reason not to.
I don't get it. I don't get it. But I mean, maybe it's not for me to get.
Yeah.
This week has been kind of, the internet has been interesting this weekend, or this week.
A lot of stuff going on.
But I want to start with the good news.
Good news.
I have a tendency to lean towards the Mac.
No.
I've had
A hanger full of Macs.
a hanger full of Mac.
Right.
I like mac and cheese.
Really?
I like Big Macs, even though they will stop your heart.
I like turtles.
I like turtle. I mean, Macs. So just announced this week, not announced, but they released, actually just yesterday, they released
I feel like it's
the new iMac Pro.
I feel like it's long overdue. Is it just me, or is this
No, you're right.
is this out of sync with all their other releases?
Oh, it's random. Random is.
Yeah, I think it's almost like they needed to hurry up and get it out the door.
That's not a good thing.
That sounds so bad.
No, well, I mean,
out the
they
door.
haven't announced a new iMac in, God, how many years?
That's what I mean. I think it's almost 3 years or more,
Right.
because that trash can came out about 3 years ago.
Yeah, that thing.
Bull.
Yeah.
So how is it?
So is this an apology for the trash can, or what's that?
Is this an apology?
No, actually, they said that they said that they're going to go back to revisit the Mac Pro.
Okay.
This is just like a all-in-one.
Yeah,
It's if you don't know, the Mac Pros are the actual, just like a regular computer. You need to buy an extra monitor or display or family of displays, and they got a bunch of stuff, right?
But that was like the corrugated aluminum box thing,
Yeah.
right? Is that what that was? Like the big handles on the side was like the hold aluminum.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So that's what they call that, the cheese grater Mac.
Yeah.
So then that turned into the one that looks like a trash can. or an ashtray, depends on who you talk to. But what they did is they took the iMac
Mm-hmm.
and they just jammed it with all kinds of super duper upgraded parts, and they called it the iMac Pro. So not only is it, jam packed with a bunch of wonderful things, but they painted it black.
I'm okay with that.
Hey, once you go black, um,
You don't release another one for 3 years.
Yeah.
so some of the specs. It says an iMac with 4 cores is remarkable enough, but an iMac with 8, 10, 14, or 18 cores.
Yeah, that's about time because in that department they've been falling way behind everybody else.
There's cores finally.
It's,
Okay.
they're finally
Is it-
starting to, yeah.
Is it still AMD?
No, I think they've been doing
They did Intel for a
Intel for a while now.
couple models now.
What's the graphics card? Is it NVIDIA?
Hold up, I will tell you. Okay,
Oh,
so
CUDA cores.
Question.
turbo up to 42 megabytes cache. Vega graphics, the
Ooh.
Radeon Pro Vega graphics iMac
See,
Pro
it's
delivers.
AMD. Whatever. I'm done.
iMac.
That's stupid.
The first Mac with Vega architecture features
Vega.
up to 16 gigabytes of high bandwidth memory. That's
Shut
video
up.
memory.
High bandwidth, man. Get out of bed with AMD and just go NVIDIA. Opens up so many
Translate to
more
higher
doors.
frame rates for VR, real-time 3D rendering, more lifelike special effects, and gameplay at max settings. It also supports both single and half precision computing, 32 bits of precision, up to 22 teraflops fast.
I guess if they went with
Radeon Pro Vega 56 or 64, up to 11 teraflops single precision, half precision, 8 or 16. Okay, we already read that.
you don't believe.
Oh, this is one of the things that I thought I thought was pretty cool. I don't know if it ships with this or if they're just showcasing it, but it says Unreal Editor. And they're showing
What?
an example of Unreal Editor
Using their Unreal
on the
Editor,
computer.
whatever. They're saying it's powerful to run real-time game development.
Yeah. And then they have this thing that's what did you just call it? The SketchUp? Google, not Google SketchUp, the 3D paint.
Gravity.
No, it was
No, I know.
it was Tilt Brush.
Tilt Brush. So Apple has this iMac is being delivered with
VR ready.
their version of Tilt Brush, which is called Gravity Sketch. I don't know if Apple actually makes Gravity Sketch, but
I don't think they do, but yeah, I've heard of it. So it's
but
VR
yeah,
ready.
it's basically if you get this iMac Pro, it has / can run virtual reality art programs.
So schools are going to eat it up. They're going to sell a lot of these things for their like labs and stuff. It's just a Mac. I don't know about the rendering department. I feel like we need a Steve Tukowski right now.
Yeah.
I mean, he's switched over to having this crazy PC, and he's all about AMD right now. AMD is the graphics card company, just like NVIDIA. But NVIDIA has a pretty good hold because they have what's called CUDA cores with it. A lot of the rendering software uses these and all the fast renders and stuff like that. You put more graphics cards in your machine, you get faster rendering. But AMD came out with this thing called Threadripper, which is like this new competitor to like the Intel chip or whatever. But it's at more budget price, and there's a bunch of different ones, and it's actually really fast. So, but that doesn't help right now because obviously they're not going to put that in there. But they're still using AMD thing for graphics cards. So I would have to.
They have a bunch of.
prefer
If you go to apple.com/iMac-Pro, you'll be able to see what we're talking about. But they have a bunch of software
We should probably have him call into the hotline.
speed tests that they did.
See what he said. We should probably have him call into the hotline and see what he says in the new year. I got interested because I don't use Mac enough like that to be like. I just don't see it being good for rendering, but we'll see. We'll see. It sounds pretty strong though. So what's
crazy is, and this is the part. These are the things that get Apple in trouble. You buy this machine, that's it. You just got a machine. I mean, it comes with everything, right? But the upgradability is
there's none.
They're really pushing on that hard now. That's like,
there's none. Like, I can't put a different video card in there.
Right.
Like, what AMD video card is it? Because last time I checked, you need like a 1080. Is like the standard almost for VR right now. A 1080 Ti is even better. You can get AMD equivalents, I guess, but like it's not what like it doesn't sound like it's. I don't understand. Whatever. I don't know. They need to figure out like, you can have your like, and if they use the word, what did he say? Magnificent. But if they use that word one more time when they describing their stuff, it's like.
And when they make silly not mistakes, but if they make silly decisions, they say, "We have the courage."
Yeah. Like, come on. Like Steve is not here. The only person got the pass for using those words, Steve. When you say it, just makes me cringe. Stop it. This is exquisite. Shut up. It's not exquisite about not being able to upgrade my workstation.
And that's just it. Like they're talking about. So that's why they're going to be coming out with a Mac Pro that's more modular. So basically, you'll be able to upgrade and swap things out.
Wait a minute, but is it Apple modular? Meaning I have to go to the Apple store and buy the module to upgrade, or can I go up to Micro Center and throw a NVIDIA card in there? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, I know what you're saying.
The business model and having all these modular things, Apple in the rollout, where you go in and get upgrades, right? Yeah. But it's their deemed upgrades, so they don't upset any of their competitors. You know what's going to happen? Studios, everybody else, if it's really cool, this MacBook Pro, studios are going to go crazy that wants to use a Mac. They're going to go and buy them, and then they're going to rip out the stupid AMD card, and they go to their local Micro Center or whatever and throw their 1080 in there and throw 5 of them in there. And now everybody's going to be like, I can use my Mac and edit my video and have 4 NVIDIA cards all SLI together.
But why even do that? Like at that point, why not just build a Hackintosh or whatever? And
because they love Mac that much, because that like those agencies are going to spend ridiculous amounts of money on one workstation, so their designers can use your Apple. I still have people at work that be like, I wish it was a Mac. Why do you wish it was a Mac? You've been here like a year, 2 years, working on crazy stuff, knowing good and well you need to be on a PC for that. Like, why at this point? I think my other designer, she still went out and bought a Mac. Shout out to Kristen. She still shouldn't have bought that. I'll call you out.
To Kristen.
Good save.
She bought a Mac though, like, and now she's like, I'm gonna have to just buy like a really beefy like laptop for my PC stuff, so when I want to do VR stuff. But what are those new like Mac laptops or whatever? Like, I think she dropped like $3,000 or something. Like, what some crazy amount? I'm like,
Speaking of which, this new iMac Pro starting.
Oh my God! Don't even.
Starting what? What is it?
Guess.
Okay, let me think.
$4,000.
Nope. It's $2,000.
Jack was closer. But
starting
price is $4,999.
Starting at $5,000.
Yeah.
No, it's not. That's the lowest model.
27-inch diagonal LED backlit Retina 5K display, 3.2 gigahertz, 8 core. Wow, they're describing the cores.
Wait, what? How many cores?
Starting at 4 core. Hang on, let's see.
Wait. Please read that right. $5,000, $4,000 for how many cores?
Hang on. I'm gonna.
Oh, share your screen. Do you know? I have a 6-core machine right now, and I spent under $2,000 for it, and I will rip with that iMac. like if I had 2 more grand.
All right.
Let me see. Are you
$5
serious?
grand.
Yeah.
For how many cores though?
8 core.
Here, let's configure.
The 3.28 core.
Standard configuration
8 cores?
is a
5
8-core
grand?
Intel Xeon W processor, turbo boost up to 4.2 gigahertz.
So I obviously the screen and all that stuff is included in this price, but you can buy an 8-core machine, a beast machine. You can build one for like, oh, I should just build one now. Like you can build one. Do you know what I could use with $5,000? Dude, I'd have the decked out studio. I'm sending Jack new mics and like lighting and stuff. I'm sending you some extra RAM and stuff. I only need $2 or $3 grand. We would have the best Twitch setup between all of us with $5,000. And I only need $2,000 to build a beast.
It comes with a 1 terabyte solid state drive. Radeon Pro Vega 56 with 8 gigabytes.
That solid state's no joke.
I have like
It's
2
a
solid
game.
states in this
Solid
this rig
state
here.
If you guys hate your computer, go get a solid state drive, install it, and then just thank us.
Dude, I have like 2 solid states in here now. Like they charge you for.
Well, but the thing is,
Justify this,
I don't
please.
know. I don't know about the all-in-one. I've never owned an all-in-one, so I don't know. Because
How
like
big is the screen?
if your screen goes down, your computer goes down. If your computer goes down, your screen goes down.
I get
big
that
is the
it's
screen?
a
It's
screen price,
27.
though. So a 27-inch screen, though,
Yeah.
and it's not even an ultra wide. It's just
But these pixels are super tight. I don't know if you need ultra wide when your pixels are this tight.
so it's just a 5K display.
Yeah.
So that's probably extra $2,000, right? So let's say the machine itself would cost $2,000, and then like the extra $2,000 is the and tax, right? And the other tax is tax, but that's what it is. So it's a $2,000 display and a $2,000 machine.
Oh.
The minute you upgrade,
Right. Because I was like, I'm not gonna have a heart attack. I'm just gonna take a look. Because with something like this, if I can't upgrade it, what I do is I get the most expensive thing and I just work it until it's done.
So now go to the most expensive version if you want to be future.
That's what you guys better hold your hearts.
Dude, this is gonna be over $10,000. It is $10,000. Oh my god!
No, hold on, because I'm sure we could do better.
What the hell are they doing?
It's this 10-core Vega 64 graphic card, 128 gigs of RAM, 2 terabytes of storage. Let's go down to the processor. Let's go to
the best one they got.
18-core Intel Xeon W.
It's a 2.3.
And then I wanna get a
weird.
4 terabyte solid state drive. Radeon Pro is pimped out.
What's the best Radeon? Also, it's just Radeon Pro. I didn't even tell you what does that mean, Radeon Pro? I hate AMD's like numbering system. No one, you can't compare. The best one out there on the market is a 1080 Ti from NVIDIA. What is AMD's equivalent? AMD Pro? What does that mean? It's not like
And just because I like consistency, I'm gonna get the Magic Mouse 2 and the trackpad in space gray.
Space gray.
Do we want the mount adapter? There's an adapter that
Yeah.
goes in the back so you can hang it on, say, like one of those arms or
We
whatever.
are approaching 14 grand. I
Yeah.
can't even like in good faith keep talking about this as this. I don't even know what I do with a 14 grand PC. Like, I don't even know. You had to start doing the stupid putting LED lights and ish like that inside of it for no good
But the
reason.
thing is, like, who
Dipping the whole thing underwater because you can. Like, I don't understand.
who needs a $14,000 machine?
Jack, who would use this? Will anybody use it in your industry?
Absolutely not. No.
I mean, these
who are they
specs,
doing
these
this to?
specs, not even necessarily 14 grand. Let's just take a look at the specs. You have what was it, 18 core,
You know what? Going to
and
build
128
PC.
gigs of RAM. Like who would need that?
I'm building a PC right now. I'm building one.
That could get used, but I don't know about like as a desktop machine, like at someone's workstation.
Yeah.
Going to
You're
PC
not gonna use 18 cores. You might start maxing out memory depending on how much multitasking you're doing, how much video you're loading and stuff. But you're not going to use 18 cores just doing your daily work. That's like render farm stuff.
Okay.
Like who's building this?
I think that's what I wanted to get to, because not everyone needs that machine. For the general public, even the general professional, art professional, you don't need 10 cores to do drop shadows in Photoshop.
Not even for rendering. You don't even, because the cores don't. It's not even like we're in a GPU age. So like you need more GPUs. It's gonna be faster than you using this CPU and all your cores. Like, I mean, that means you're going to say I'm going to go all in and not do GPU rendering. And Apple's saying, yo, let's just use.
What's the GPU stats? Or they don't give them.
It's some AMD version of AMD. It's not their Ryzen, which is their new stuff, like that everybody's been doing. So like I'm on PC Part Picker, AMD Ryzen. Let me look at. I'm looking here. Hold on, I'll tell you in a second. Like, it's not.
Well, the graphics card alone.
I don't know what I don't. What is it called? Tell me exactly what it's called, because I'm looking in the graphics card list and I don't even see that card they're talking about.
There, I just put it in the chat. Radeon Pro Vega 64
Vega, like it's like what is
with 16 gigabytes of HBM2 memory.
Is that their own version?
Shopping on Amazon, you get that bad boy for $1,500.
That card?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So let's compare that to.
So then, no, hang on, because it says chipset AMD RX Vega 64.
Yeah.
8 gigabytes of whatever memory. GPU core clock is 1,247 megahertz boost mode. Is 1546. VR premium ready.
So the Radeon Pro Vega 64 versus the GeForce GTX 1080 Ti. I'm about to see if this thing is. Where is that? Okay. Yo, it's like. Oh. So
it will tear through a YouTube video.
Yeah, it will. But like significantly more memory goes to the GeForce GTX 1080 Ti, 16,384 versus 11,264 with the Radeon Vega 64, right? A wider memory bus, 2,048 versus 352 bits on the Radeon Pro. More texture mapping units, 256 versus 224. Let's go with something else that we understand. Effective memory clock speed. The Radeon Pro Vega 64 is at 1,560 megahertz, while the GeForce GTX 1080 Ti 11,000 megahertz. Right.
So what's
It's
that
just
mean?
Yeah.
so it's
Sorry.
like it's memory clock speed. It's like if I sent you this like here this image or this link, if you're like buying, you don't know anything about this, and you're like, okay, which one's better? The graphs just prove that like the NVIDIA card is just better. Like texture mapping units, you know, that's like for like if you're like for rendering like the GPU clock speed.
You gotta spend $2,200 just to show up with this thing.
Oh, don't look at that. Like there's
No.
advertising. All
Oh
over the
yeah,
place.
don't look at that.
No, there's advertisements all over the place on this stuff.
Oh.
You're looking at that like Midtex XPC. That's not even it. That's not it.
Oh.
But we can go down. I can go down lower to a lower version. I still bet you I can just do a regular T8. So Ti is the best on the market. I can go just a regular 1080 by itself. It gets, or we can go 1070. You know, where we get into like a $400 card. You know, or like $600 card. But like, you see what I'm saying? Like, you put even if you put $800, $900 into a video card, you could still bid out a whole PC for like less. Like, if this is their top end card, their best of the best, if you could put in it, I just don't see a 14 grand price point. You're paying for craftsmanship, I guess. Right? I guess the way they craft stuff, the way they pack this stuff in, you're paying for them fitting it into this little tight space, I guess.
Because
it could be exquisitely designed in order to put all this stuff
black.
into it.
It's black.
And it's black. Well, I don't care. You pay for black, but like, you know, that's like all the colors combined, you know. That's probably really hard to. It's probably some weird Apple black, like
right.
some weird, slightly off from real black, or it's like that. What's that real black that? What is it called? True black, or like that looks crazy? That fabric they've crafted.
Yeah,
it's like
Apple drapes it in that, so in it looks like a black hole. I don't know. Even if I take this off,
it's so black that it starts like pulling things from your office into it because it's black hole black. God damn it.
Oh man. The only reason why I looked at the specs is I was just thinking if you're paying that type of money, why? I guess you're paying for that crazy screen because it is a 5K screen, right? And we know Apple does really good with their displays.
Their displays are tight. You cannot.
Can you get that display by itself?
Yeah.
No. Have you ever thought about why Apple doesn't
actually
just sell displays by themselves?
They used to.
But
then I think they started realizing that there's other people that are doing it better. So I think they got together with, I want to say LG.
Excuse me.
So they're working with a different company, like a LG or something like that, as a preferred provider. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So they don't want to make displays anymore. So they went and they're teaming up, and because when you go to get the Mac Pro,
right,
they don't want to have standalone screens anymore.
Okay.
Oh,
really?
Probably, yeah. Probably because they just don't want to handle like all the dead pixels and all that stuff. Like it started becoming a challenge for them back when they were making displays. And then eventually people are like, well, these screens over here are a little more affordable. Even though like Apple's displays have always been just on top of the pile, right? They've always been just a little bit better. I don't care. I'm not trying to fanboy. I look at it in a realistic
It just seems like it's just like
way.
the prices are like astronomical. I just don't know who that top end price is for. I mean,
Right. And that's
Jack's
the
worked in the
question. Like people,
visual effects industry, like at the top of that,
I
like
I would.
processing power.
I
Like
mean, like
who's using it if he's not using it?
yeah, I mean, like editorial and stuff has always been really into Macs. But I just don't. I mean, at this point, like you get this, and then on top of it, you got to get all your Avid stuff, or like.
Yeah,
I mean,
software.
you're looking at like a 50 grand editorial suite that like you could have. It just doesn't make sense to me. I don't see why anyone would build this. Like
That
it's
you could throw literally 6 to 10 grand in that same suite, and in like 4 or 5 grand maybe if you're going crazy, with the PC, right? But then all that other money is going toward software, subscriptions, licensing, retro licensing.
you got to remember, you got to pay for Adobe Creative Cloud.
like, and I just don't want. If you're an artist, you're a freelancer, I get that you like Macs. I really do. I make fun of them. I have an iPhone for years. I love my little iPhone. Although we can talk about it taking a crap since the new operating system come out. They're trying to
Don't even get me started.
Oh, you can at least back in the day, at least it would have been a little bit better when I'd be like, oh, it's kind of acting weird. Yo, I'm seeing legit like it's freezing. I'm waiting for stuff to open up, and I have not done anything to this phone. I keep my phone in tip-top shape, update it every time a new update comes out. And it just feels slower now since I had to do the new operating system.
It is.
It's just, man, just like
it is.
And I don't want to really upgrade because I don't want to pay $1,000 because I'm a choosy son of a that knows that you need the grand version. You really do. You don't not need it. But I'm not gonna want to buy the other version. I want the full power.
Right. And having my phone take a look at my face does not cost $1,000.
Yeah. So I would spend $500, right? Because I can sell this one for $300. Because my wife is amazing at selling our old phones. Every time we've done it, we've sold it on eBay or something for like $300 a piece. So now it's a $200 upgrade, which I'm okay with on a phone because you use it all the time, and that's an expensive piece of hardware. So $200 is worth upgrading, plus putting another $300 from rewarding yourself for keeping your old phone in good shape, and you can able to sell it for that much, right? I was okay with that model for the last 10 years or so, and then they had to go ahead and add extra $500 on top of on top of it, and now I'm spending $600-700 because I'm not gonna get this phone. It's not gonna go for more than $200-300.
Right.
It's still a hard pill to swallow. The extra.
Well, we also got to remember this is also happening at the same time that the phone companies have stopped subsidizing.
That too, right? So I can't buy the phone and then say just throw it on my bill.
Right.
So you're paying full price.
Apple actually has a not a promotion. What's the word I'm looking for?
Rebate?
A program. They have a program that you pay like $15 or $20 a month
for the next time
there's a new phone, you get it automatically.
Life.
Wait. Yeah. You just pay them $15 a month? Yeah. Always?
Yeah.
Indefinitely?
For the rest of your life.
Yeah.
Dang, that's like a permanent subscription.
Yeah. Huh. Yeah, just like everything else. They're nickel and diming us until we die.
So, and if my family ever sees this, I be going in about Android because I get real pissed about how many different types of Android operating systems. But I think I had a friend that showed me off the new Pixel. There's a couple others that came out.
Yeah,
not bad. First time an Android user was able to effectively show off the phone, and it was like, okay, that's kind of cool. I just got to get around the operating system because now I'm like, man, I need to switch or something. And I've never said that before ever because I feel like this operating system doesn't get on my nerves at all. The only thing I hate about it the most is the constant signing in the Apple
Yeah.
iTunes, and me
Yeah.
me having to redo my password all the time. Not redo it, but like sign into stuff. Just let me
Yeah.
pay for stuff. It's not cracked. I know you're trying to be like security, but I don't want that.
You can put your fingerprint on that.
I do, but then after so long,
That should
they
work out.
still make you sign in.
Oh.
That
Like
fingerprint works half the time.
after like 2 or 3 months or so of you having it on, it'll say, okay, cool. You put your fingerprint and it gives you the little ding sign, and then you think you're gonna download. Then it's like, hey, we need you to verify that this is you. You just used my fingerprint. Well, why I gotta sign in now? I don't remember my password.
I know.
Because I haven't signed in like 3 months. Like, if it's good and no one's trying to hack it, like, just give it to me. If I give you my fingerprint, it should override that. And then you got to sign in. And then you know what they have you do for verification? Then they have you put in the last 4 digits of your credit card or whatever you have on there and reaffirm that this is your credit card too. I'm like, I just buying a $2 app. Like,
it always takes like 45 minutes to do.
Like, I'm buying a GPS
and this is
app.
even past Apple. Like, this is everyone.
Yeah.
I'm
It's
like, come
all
on,
extra.
dude.
I think, how many apps have people say, forget it? I don't want to sit here and like go in my wallet, pull out the card that I use. What's the last 4 digits? Oh, those. All right. And then re-sign in. Say you forget your password. You're like, man, I'll deal with this later. I won't.
Yeah.
I guess I don't need this like
I don't
time
think it's
waster.
that bad.
Time waster Candy Crush game.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
It's crazy, man. But then you got that whole thing of like, then you gotta spend a month getting used to the new Android operating system. You bitching about why things are not there.
I for work I have a collection of Android and iPhones. And I agree, like the Android, I'd be more than happy to switch over because I go with what works best for me. And just the Android operating system is just doesn't it doesn't click. You have to swipe down to get to the settings. And then if you swipe down on the different part over there, you get a different part of the settings. And then to get to a certain part of the settings, you got to scroll all the way to the bottom, then click over there, and then close your eyes and click over there. And then they give you a code that you punch in. I'm like, I just want to turn on the goddamn flashlight.
You know what it feels like? This is what it feels like. I just thought of this analogy. It feels like when you get a new iPhone, it's pretty bare, and people can bloat up your phone, right? You can bloat up your phone yourself with all the little apps that you barely use or whatever. I understand that. But with the Android one, every time I see somebody's phone, I feel like it's like the old school E-machine or Dell you buy from Best Buy that has all the on it you don't like. You're never gonna use. And then but it's all new. So you're like, oh, cool. But it's like, what is this? This is a weird calculator. Why do I need this calculator?
Why are there 4 calculators?
Why are there 4 calculators? Oh, this is cool. It's like a weird geocaching GPS thing. But I can just download Google Maps or Waze, and that'll probably be good. Okay, cool. Why did I have a paint app? I don't want a paint app.
And then they have if you want to have some fun, take a look at how many different ways you could take a picture.
Wait, what?
On Android. They have different ways to take pictures. They have different applications. And when you take a screenshot, sometimes it's a timed screenshot, sometimes it's an automatic screenshot, and then sometimes it saves to your photo thing, and sometimes it doesn't. And sometimes it just shows up somewhere else. Like, I'm like, I don't get it. It's not that user friendly. Sorry.
Yeah, it's like I don't understand why it's got to be
and I'm not saying that Apple's got it down either, because I'm tell you the truth. Yeah. I'm about to get a flip phone and call it a day.
Yeah, all the new stuff in the latest OS, some of it is really frustrating. like how difficult it is just to save an image. Like I'm like pressing on that thing, and then it gives me like a new thing, and then I'm pressing and holding, and it gives me a different thing, and I'm just like they took all this stuff that was so simple and have made it.
Dude, I did a
And then when you're talking to your phone, you say, "Hey, dum dum." I don't want to say it because I don't know who's listening.
Right.
Hey, dum dum.
Know anything.
Remind me when I get home to put the popcorn in the microwave. And she says, "Okay, next Wednesday you're going to be on a plane to such and such and such." I'm like, I didn't ask you none of that.
I'm sorry, I don't know that.
Yeah, I'm like, really, Siri, you gonna do that to me?
Which leads us to the next thing that happened this week. Apple bought Shazam. Do you guys?
What's the move in this? I'm trying to
That's the
understand.
question. So just to be a little bit to bring a little bit of light to people that might not know, Shazam is the music recognition software, but it doesn't only do.
They're trying to incorporate it into Siri, I'm sure.
Yeah, I'm sure that that's what it's going to end up being. But Siri and Shazam work together already because you can ask her, "Hey, what's this song?" and she'll tell you. And then she'll give you links to iTunes Music.
They had to pay Shazam to do that.
Yeah, might be. I know that they've been trying really hard to, they meaning Apple has been. Oh, before we get too far, like so Shazam listens to music and tells you what's playing, and then it's gotten to the point where if you watch any commercials at all, people are using Shazam in a marketing sense where if you listen to the commercial, then you watch, you show your phone the jingle that's playing, and then it'll know to take you to this website, and you get coupons or whatever the hell it is that they're doing. And you can also, I think this is still there, but you yourself can sing into the phone, and the phone will then tell you what song you're trying to remember, which helps because there's a lot of times you're like, how's that song? That song goes like this.
How well do you have to be able to sing?
Yeah. Don't ask me because Carlos's cartoon karaoke. But no. So there's a lot of really cool functionality if you are, especially if you're a fan of music. And there's a few other things that Shazam does, but Apple went and collected that, and I think it was last month, maybe 2 months ago, they went ahead and bought a different company that works on AI and all that stuff. Okay. So I'm kind of with Jack where they went out and they bought Shazam to try to make Siri that much smarter.
Right, effort, I guess, right?
And if they own it, if they own Shazam, then if Microsoft wants to use it, now they have to pay royalties. If Google wants to use it, they have to.
Because I don't know that I've seen another tool quite like Shazam. I'm sure they own some patent, and they're probably buying it for that reason more so than anything else.
Yeah.
And
the technology behind it.
Well, yeah, but I mean the patenting, then they can license it out and they can make money off of other companies who want to use it. And
yeah.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Do we even care?
What
Apple is doing with Shazam?
No, not yet.
Until, and I'm not gonna lie, the Google Home, the Google Assistant, whether it's on the iPhone or on, I guess this is called Google Home. That assistant is so much better than Siri. You can damn near have a conversation with that assistant.
Yeah, my mom has that. She's showing that off to me. I was like impressed.
I can tell her right now, hey, play this play some kind of YouTube video on the TV and she'll send it over.
Hmm.
Meh. It's pretty cool. Oh, in a similar note, the Google Home Max was released this week too. And it's one of those smart speakers that not only has the Google Assistant and you can tell it what you're looking for and, hey, give me this information, but it's got a bunch of sensors and stuff in there. So where it knows where it in the room it is, and so it adjusts all of the levels to be able to give you optimal sound.
That's cool.
Like Sonos does.
Yeah. So anyway, that was released. And I was kind of excited until I found out that it was going for like $350 or something.
And you're like, what?
I was like, well, I already got one. Well, not the Max. I got the regular one. So yeah.
You know, speaking on that same note, other people who are buying people up this week or in the process, Disney is reportedly to buy 20th Century Fox for $52 billion.
And that's happening, yeah?
Yeah, I was saying it is. And
Comcast
is in the running, and then they realized Comcast pockets aren't as deep as Disney's.
Yeah.
And Disney's like, no, I kind of need my X-Men franchise and Spider-Man franchise back for good. Because we got this Marvel universe I need to expand after this Avengers stuff is over with.
That in itself
is badass. I feel like that's the whole reason.
They're gonna get their money. They're gonna get their money back just off of 2 Spider-Man movies.
Dude, they're like, we don't want to do this joint venture stuff. I just want it's my property. I just want it back. So I'm gonna buy you out, and I'm gonna take it back. That's what I like to think whole thing is for.
Do you think Disney's gonna go ahead and change Sony's or 20th Century Fox's email server? Because wasn't it them that got hacked?
I thought that was Sony.
Yeah, Sony.
Okay,
it was Sony.
So I was right, but I was trying to be funny.
Yeah, the real part was cut out. But I think that's crazy cool. Like, I don't know. It's crazy that the buying companies are so big, just buying each other up, swallowing each other up. But I do like the idea of like having some legit X-Men, Fantastic Four movies. Is that bad?
Yeah, that's dumb.
Right? They buy out a whole company so they can get this. No, it's crazy. Like, that contract had to be not going away anytime soon. You know, and then like, what else is under 20th Century Fox in terms of movies? Is like Back to the Future and all that stuff? Is that owned by them or no?
There's so much stuff. Oh my god, I can't even. I mean, they've got The Simpsons. That's a big one.
Oh, they do. Wow. Disney just ends The Simpsons. That was a good run.
No, could you imagine if they took The Simpsons and did like a Simpsons Autobots mashup? Huh?
What'd you say, Jack?
I didn't say anything.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So even the Marvel stuff is interesting, but like, what is interesting is all the other movies we're not even thinking about, or the like, you know, ownership of stuff we're not even thinking about that Fox owns.
Yeah, I mean, I think a big part of this is obviously their previous announcement of how Disney's pulling all their stuff from Netflix and they're going to do their own streaming things. So clearly, this is also to help fuel that streaming service.
So now you have all that.
I mean, that's going to be a massive library of content. Not only Disney and all the sub companies they already own, but now they've got all of 20th Century Fox and everything they own.
So they can pretty much come out with a streaming service that has
totally.
That
and nothing but monster hits.
Yeah, I mean, massive mega movies and series. I mean, this is crazy.
Because then they'd be like, you know what? No one else uses it. If you want to see it, go to our streaming stuff.
Yeah,
everything from Mary Poppins to the Avengers, everything,
and more that we're not even thinking about. It's a crazy move They're like, I just want to know what the streaming service looks like. What is it going to be called? I mean, they've already done it because of my kids stuff. So they've already come out with this Disney. What's it called here? It's on my phone. It's hooked to the Disney channels, Disney Go or whatever. It's called Disney Go. What's it called? Let me see. I'll tell you in a second here, because my daughter loves it. Because we can watch TV shows. It's called Disney Now. So their Disney Now app is like their TV show app. You hook in, log into your service provider, and then now I can watch any cartoon that my kid likes to watch on Disney.
Yeah.
You know, on the phone. So I won't be surprised if it's some variation off of that, because it's all just cartoony kid stuff right now. But when they open up the whatever their big brother to that app is, it's gonna be crazy.
What else? Speaking, since and I'm sorry for cutting you off. Go ahead, Jack.
No, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, T-Mobile's throwing their hat into content creation too.
Really?
What are they doing?
They just announced. Let me pull it up because we're talking about that.
They probably got all excited. They got all excited to be like, we've got this big announcement to make, and then Disney just takes over the news cycle.
Yeah.
Like, what? T-who? What is that?
I gotta do the analogy of like it's like a show and T-Mobile's on his way out and Disney just runs by them like, excuse me, bro.
Yeah.
let me talk to him for a second.
Totally just takes over.
T-Mobile's sitting there like with his mic and like just kind of hangs his head and walks back to his dressing room. Like there's no point in going out on stage now. Man,
oh, it's not necessarily content, it's TV service.
Oh, I got you.
Yeah.
So like
I misunderstood it a little bit. I knew it was going to be some kind of delivery thing, whether they were creating it or not, but
right.
Okay. But yeah, they basically want people to buy a T-Mobile phone and you'll be able to watch TV without having to pay for cable.
Huh. Okay. I guess T-Mobile. Better off going and like brokering a deal with Netflix.
Yeah, next week they're going to announce that Disney buys T-Mobile.
Disney buys T-Mobile.
We got this, guys. Just
Disney buys T-Mobile to shut them up. Yo, stop making stuff and just stick to phones. Your service is still crappy. What? Oops. Like this is like this genre's this section of business is not for you. You can do so much better. I don't know if you have the money or infrastructure to keep up in this like lane. Like, what does this mean to like? Oh yeah, that probably brings us to our next conversation. I'll wait for that.
Oh, so I have the I started playing the video for the announcement, and it's basically the CEO of T-Mobile, John Legere, maybe.
Okay.
Number one, he looks like a. Oh man, I'm horrible. He looks like a washed-up '80s hairband rocker.
Yo, stop it!
And he's wearing like a knockoff Michael Jackson jacket. And
are you serious right now?
Yeah, I put the link in the chat.
Wait a minute.
And he's talking about how T-Mobile's taking on the most hated companies, which are Comcast,
he does.
Charter, Time Warner, Cox.
He's brutal. He looked like Gene Simmons, like on a weight loss.
Like Gene Simmons.
This is bad. We gotta stop. We gotta stop.
Yo, who is this? Somebody get somebody's daddy off the internet. Whose dad is this?
Little Cindy Legary's apparently.
Yeah.
Yo, Cindy, come get your father and tell him never to wear that jacket again. And then please, somebody do his hair next time. Like, it got no bounce to it. It's like a bad like Suave commercial or something.
Yeah,
Like
like he
this
just
is
took his
just flat.
motorcycle helmet off and it was hot AF outside.
Right. It's just flat. Either it's dead inside and it's just hanging there on for dear life and it really wants him to shave it,
Oh
or
my
like
God.
he just didn't comb it. Said, "Why where are we going with this?" Like,
He's being disruptive, is what he's doing.
yo, is
Taking on
disrupting
Big Cable,
me.
the most hated companies.
Real choice of TV on our network, like our crappy network, like.
But I mean that's nothing different than like Google is doing with YouTube. And you know what I found out this week is YouTube hasn't made any money since its inception.
YouTube?
Yeah, they're trying to figure out how to make money with YouTube.
They still don't, even with all the ad revenue.
That's
sure?
yeah,
That
that's
sound like
what
that.
I
I thought that
heard.
was Twitter.
How is that possible?
Oh no,
Because they have all
Twitter's just a lost cause. If
But
it
how is
wasn't,
YouTube not really making money though? That doesn't make sense.
they have so many ads.
I'm telling you, like YouTube is the second most used search engine, second to Google.
And why are they not making money then?
I mean, I get like why Google search engine might not make money, but
YouTube is
Okay,
like
so
a
here,
network.
check this out. Businessinsider.com. YouTube still isn't a profitable business for Google. Sources tell the Wall Street Journal's Rolf Winkler.
Okay.
Thanks to a premium ads push last year called Google Preferred, the video streaming site increased its revenue from 4 billion in 2014 from 3 billion in 2013, but still only roughly breaking even. So imagine
well, yeah, their operating costs are probably
right, the operating cost,
It's the
however many
servers.
people it takes
All
to
that
run
video
YouTube,
you got to store.
however many servers it takes to house all that
the
mess.
bit rate and like how like you're streaming HD and like it's just the infrastructure alone. But you're Google though. You have all that, don't you?
well, sure, but it's not free. I mean,
They just need to get a printing press, just print some free money.
They might have to start like renting Amazon web servers.
Yo,
I feel like they already do.
I think they do. I think
They
everybody
might, like, but
I think everybody.
it's scary
rents
how many
Amazon
people
web
out here.
servers.
It's scary how many people out here use Amazon web servers.
Dude.
It's like half the internet is on AWS.
That's another thing that like in gaming related with Amazon, they have that other. They bought the third most popular game engine like 2 years ago called the Crisis Engine.
Oh
They
yeah,
called Crytek,
Yep.
and saved Crytek because they're going to be bankrupt, and then they took that made their own version of a game engine called Lumberyard. So that's slowly gaining speed, but the big kicker with Lumberyard is like since it's owned by Amazon, you can get like a deal with how your game gets hosted. So if you're doing an online game or whatever, because now they have an Amazon web server package with that, and it's integrated into the game engine. So we talked about big Kickstarter games like there's one called Star Citizen. That's like one of the largest. It's got like 2 million in like revenue, right? They started on Kickstarter, used the funding from Kickstarter, and made their own website so they can do a version of Kickstarter on their own website. And it's a big, huge. It's by the famous designer Chris Roberts, who did Wing Commander back in the day, right? So this is supposed to be like the cool version of Wing Commander, right? Open space. You can go anywhere. You can have this crazy ship, get insurance on the ship, like big things. I don't want to get into gaming stuff if people don't understand it. Look up Star Citizen. It's the most crazy vaporware game out right now that's being developed for the last 2 or 3 years. And people are paying like $200
more than Duke Nukem
for a ship. Yeah. $200 for their ship, Carlos, just to have their ship. Because
What is this game called?
It's called Star Citizen. It started out on Kickstarter. Literally, Jack, they've raised like 200 million or something like that. And they have now they start this with the guy who did Wing Commander, started this company called Cloud Imperium Games. There's 5 or 6 studios now working on this game. There's gonna be 2 versions of the game. An MMO version where like you have your spaceship, you can fly around space, you go in warp speed. It actually takes time to get to different stuff. You can go from space down to the planet level with no load screen. The planets are like actual size, exploring these planets and stuff like that. It's the end-all fantasy video game for a sci-fi nut, of actually having space, dogfighting in space, planets being actual sizes, landing on planets from space without any load screen. Like you're just landing. That's how big these things. So there's like, from a game standpoint, the level of like loading is ridiculous, and levels of details to get this to work. Excuse me, it's crazy. So,
so do we need an iMac Pro to play this thing?
Yo, yeah, you need a beast machine to play this thing, but it's good. They've been developing it and stuff like that. But it was, long story short, they developed this on the Cry engine, right? It's like third most popular engine. I mean, Unreal and Unity are juggernauts, but then you have the Cry engine. It makes really good looking stuff, but they did a deal early on in their Kickstarter days with Crytek to use the Cry engine, and it's going to be like kind of like, I scratch your back, you scratch mine type of deal. Look at this cool game we're making. Look at the engine we're using, right? Well, Crytek started having trouble, started going bankrupt, started not being able to pay their employees. Employees left, ended up going over to Cloud Imperium Games because Crytek was in trouble. They sell their engine to Amazon, right? Amazon saved that money. Amazon based 4 or 5 billion or whatever, however much for the engine. Saved Crytek, right? So then, years later, Crytek is still never recovering, but they're there. Amazon made this new one called Lumberyard with all that other new stuff, Twitch integration, so it's good for people who are trying to have games that want to capture that market of Twitch, right? And then you got the Amazon web server back end, so if you're making a big online game, your servers are going to be all integrated with the game engine. It's going to load and do good stuff. So Cloud Imperium Games has been working on this crazy juggernaut of a game called Star Citizen, right? They're like, well, it's made on the same architecture as the Cry engine. We're just going to go over here and use Lumberyard now and not use Crytek anymore. And we're just going to use Lumberyard. So they did that. They made that switch like 7 months ago. Right. And now they're over here because they see all the like benefits of like, obviously you're going to need crazy web servers to be able to host this game and stuff like that. Well, guess who's suing Cloud Imperium Games now? Crytek for breach of contract, But they were on the verge of bankruptcy when these guys in the beginning were trying to make this game, and now they're mad because they left, and it says severely hurt their brand or whatever,
Oh, Jesus.
And I don't know how you can like sue somebody for going to a different engine, right? But that was based off the engine that you just sold to them, So the architecture was like pretty much the same, right?
Wait, who owns Lumberyard?
Amazon. But Amazon paid for the Cry engine, which they made Lumberyard off of. So in order to save money, Crytek basically had to sell their engine, and Amazon bit and bought the engine, refabricated it a little bit. It's still the same engine, but like they remade it a new one, added all this new stuff to it.
Wait, but I don't know who owns what though, because Crytek is owned by Amazon?
No, Crytek has the original engine they use. So it's called the Crisis engine, right? Or called the Cry engine, right? The Cry engine was Crytek's flagship engine. Games like Crisis was made in it back in the day. It looks really beautiful engine. Right. But they went into financial trouble, right? So probably on the low key, they were looking to sell that engine, right? Amazon bit because Amazon didn't have a game engine. So they bought the engine. Once they bought the engine, they turned it into what they call Lumberyard, which is their new engine.
Got it.
But it's almost like if somebody sold the Unreal engine and they made a new engine, to us artists, it's still the Unreal engine, right? It's just a new name, right? So Cloud Imperium Games, the guys who were making Star Citizen, they were using the Cry engine. And when they first were starting, like early Kickstarter days, they were using it, and it was kind of like CryEngine was promoting them also. Like, look at this amazing game being made with the CryEngine, right?
Right.
But then they ran into financial problems, right? Cloud Imperium Games is still making their game, but so then there's a big thing in the gaming industry. Guys weren't getting paid. This time last year during Christmas, checks were bouncing and stuff like that. So all these employees were leaving. Yeah, right. All these employees were leaving Crytek last year over in Germany. They were leaving, and some of those employees were leaving and going to work for Cloud Imperium Games, because if you're a programmer that's been working on the CryEngine for like 10 years,
you kind of know your way around
you're going to go to the best game out right now, and the only game out really being developed with that engine was Star Citizen. So a lot of so Cloud Imperium Games got a lot of their programmers and stuff like that. That was still fine because, then they end up selling to Amazon and CryEngine end up being all right. But development of CryEngine in terms of like a competitor is not really there. So Cloud Imperium Games made a decision earlier this year to move over to the Lumberyard engine, which is based on the CryEngine, right? But I think they were doing it because this is an MMO, kind of like World of Warcraft. You're going to have like hundreds of thousands of people connected to this game eventually.
Yeah, and they want to get a deal with Amazon's service.
Right. So now Crytek, known as the CryEngine, is suing because I guess they had a agreement that they were going to use the CryEngine as their sole game engine.
Mm-hmm.
And then they also said they released proprietary software. John Carmack got involved with this with the Oculus earlier this year too. But I guess they released proprietary software. I tried to read some of the legal stuff, and it sounds like they're just whining because they left. But I don't know. Cloud Imperium Games came out with a statement saying we're going to defend this and then sue them for all the money that's costing to defend this. But we didn't do anything wrong. It's just another instance of a big huge company buys your engine, right? Saves you as a company, but then takes your engine since you gave it to them and you sold it to them, makes it better. The game developer is just looking for what's going to help them create this game better, and they leave and go over this because it's to me it's like they're still really using your engine. They're just not really working with you directly.
Probably what it is they're like, well, we're going to lose anyway. We have these lawyers on retainer for probably a while. We might as well take a shot in the dark.
Yeah.
Because
it's like you sold the engine off to Amazon, and that's the same engine that they're using now. It's just a little better.
Yeah, but the thing is, if me as a game developer, if I go to Charlie and I say, all right, Charlie, I want to use your game engine. Charlie's like, all right, cool. Here, sign the dotted line. We have an agreement that says, whatever it is.
Right.
I'm going to build my game off of your game engine. We're in a relationship together. And then Jack says, hey, I just bought that engine and made it a little juicier. Do you want to come and build your game over here? We have Twitch and we have Amazon and all this stuff. And I'd be like, yeah, okay, cool. Yeah, that sounds pretty good.
Meanwhile, I go silent for a year and a half, 2 years or so.
Right.
I have to read all the legal stuff, but the part I don't understand is if they sold it off to Amazon, they don't have it anyway. So that transfer would have had to have affected their contract at some point.
Yeah. Somehow they sold it off, but they still retain rights. So they just sold them the source code, if you will, for the engine. They didn't sell them off the total rights to the engine itself. So they say, here, we'll give you the source code for the engine so you can build your own engine off of this.
That is the most bizarre thing.
You know, right? It's like, it's crazy. And they said it, and it's almost like a battered girlfriend, because in the legal thing that I read a little bit, like they were watching, because Cloud Imperium Games is really transparent about development, because you kind of have to be with the Kickstarter type stuff, right?
Right.
All these people are paying $500 for a ship that's not real, and the game has no release date. You know, so they're being real transparent, excuse me, about how they're building it. And they cited Crytek cited a couple videos where they show off a special like face rigging software and some other type of like add-on that they have in the engine, and they're saying that you ended up showing off code that is going to damage us to these third-party software groups that you're using. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just weird because they're doing the whole like Andy Serkis style animation, you know, on a soundstage, real time, tracking your face type thing in engine. You know, same thing like Unreal does, or like Lord of the Rings, or like Planet of the Apes. You know, so they hire all these high profile actors, and I think they're citing one of those like behind the scenes videos saying that there's no way you'd be able to do that code with the engine unless you had to show that third party face tracking company our code, which is a breach of contract. And then like to the official response was like, we've been switched over to Amazon Lumberyard for a while now, so we're gonna defend this. So they're basically saying you don't have any jurisdiction because we're not using.
Yeah, if that language isn't in the agreement,
yeah,
you know, like if we got together, started using Unreal, and then we're like, nah, it's just not doing what we wanted to do, we go to Unity.
Yeah,
unless there was a because we don't know, like maybe
there was some kind of agreement there.
Maybe the agreement was we're going to give you like a discounted rate or whatever, but let's go ahead and make this media push together.
Yeah, I think that's what it was. They were new. They were so new. They were doing the Kickstarter. You know, this was a pie in the sky type of idea. Yeah. I never thought they were going to pull off. Like, I mean, even if you go to the site now, you know, just look up Star Citizen, and like, or go back to the original Kickstarter page and look how much money they raised. It's got to be the highest grossing like game funded, because like they're smart. They use that money from Kickstarter and they basically made a Kickstarter on their own website, and people just kept feeding them money each month.
Nice.
And they still do it. And then like what they did, Jack, was all their like ships and stuff, they made them look like Cadillac and like Audi commercials. So when a new one comes out, you know, fanboys and game geeks are like, oh, the new 736 JI is out, and it's got thrusters and like, and it's like $400. And people are like, and then they say, if you want to help finish the development of this ship, you'll get the ship. And it's like the whole Kickstarter type of incentive. Like, you'll get the ship, you also push the ship through. It's only in its concept stage right now, but as soon as it comes out, you'll get it. You'll get insurance on the ship for in game, because you can do everything you could think of in this game. You can either be a Han Solo type of dude, or you can be a space pirate. You can like jack people's ships, you know, and that's why you need.
Could you imagine?
You know,
could you imagine paying $400 for like a badass ship, and then you're in there, you're driving around, someone steals it from you?
That's what it is. You like leave your hatch open, or you leave your cargo bay open. That you can literally do that in this game. So because it's an MMO,
that would be amazing.
It's an MMO. That's why you got to get insurance on your ship, and insurance costs a certain amount of money. It's an MMO, so like people are going to go in here and play out their like Star Wars space fantasy,
right?
You know, of like being a space pirate or being a whatever, because there's all these weird. Because it's like Eve. If you guys have ever heard of that game, right? You know, it's the same type of deal. Eve was an online MMO space thing where like it's more of a simulator. Your ship is like that big, but there's all type of like corporations and conglomerates that was started, and there's like real money transactions changing hands based off the currency in the game. So if you ever look up Eve in terms of like, I think there's stuff on Bloomberg and a couple other websites, excuse me, about Eve and how like they have a system in there where you can trade your monthly subscription for in-game money. So there's like a real-world transaction there. So there's an actual economy. So there's people that have been playing for 15, 20 years.
Oh my
These
God.
big, huge corporations, you know, in World of Warcraft or like fantasy, they would call them guilds. But in Eve, it's like corporations. You have a head, you have a board of directors and all that stuff. And there's all these crazy like articles about like hostile takeovers that people have like infiltrated the corporation for like 7-8 years and like through social engineering and you know because you got people on like servers chatting like we are now. They log in every day, they become a part of the group, you know, they rise to the ranks and then like take over. You know, you can have these big huge space battles. You know, it's crazy how involved these like a massive multiplayer game can become. And that's the ploy. Look at a company like Blizzard, who joined with Activision. You know, their World of Warcraft afforded them to do all this extra esports and everything they're doing nowadays with their new game Overwatch because people still play that old World of Warcraft game right now. This concurrent of like 4 or 5 million concurrent players right now logging into that old ass game, you know, with painted textures. They'll do an update, but it's the same game with the same content revamped a little bit, new things show up, and it's like somebody's paying $15 a month every month, times it by 7 million players or something like that. You know, it's crazy. So MMOs in gaming are like the hardest to make because you don't know if that's going to hit or that might hit for a year, and then like you have, you know, 20,000 people on a server, and that doesn't really work for MMO because that looks dead, you know, or over after a while. So it sounds cool, and it's a little bit of a nostalgia because people like Wing Commander that back in the day, if you remember that old school game. So it's like the updated version of that. The ships are like elaborate and really, really crazy. The business model is ridiculous. It doesn't seem like it's going to be real. Some people think it's never coming out, and all these people put all this money in it, and it just won't come out. Just the sheer number of like perfect storms. From an animation side, you have animation on the level of like Hollywood motion capture from the likes of like any AAA game you've seen, like Naughty Dog or any other, or like or you know, Planet of the Apes in the movie theaters. That kind of facial tracking, all these people in it. They got some really, really big stars to play like some of the characters, you know. You see them on the soundstage and stuff like that. Then on the other side, you have this juggernaut of a video game that's going to look amazing in space. You know, a year ago there was a game called No Man's Sky that the indie developers hyped up. They were on Jimmy Kimmel, they were on Late Night so much where they said that like each planet was procedural and you'll never be able to be at the same planet twice. You can go from space to planet level. The same things that you're doing in Star Citizen. This dude hyped it up so much. When that game came out, it was not that at all. That company got like, I don't know if that company will ever recover because they had this guy on everywhere. And Sony and Microsoft was pushing them like crazy, and like only difference is Star Citizens is claiming to do that, and they're actually showing that they can do that, right?
Damn.
In terms of a real, this is like the real No Man's Sky, you know.
Yeah.
But people are like that level of like detail. All the planets are procedural, so they'll be different. They have weather systems on them. You know, when they did the behind the scenes, the level of like from a programming standpoint, Carlos, like the level of okay, when you're in the ship, you're in your own little level, which is inside of another level of the space, which is inside another level of the game. And they had to do this weird like level of detail system to allow me to have my like detailed ship fight your detailed ship while having this like planet that has people on it or players connected to it, and nothing lags, and it's all online.
Yeah.
So it started out as one studio in like Austin, and then there's another studio in LA. There's a studio in Vancouver. And this is all based off Kickstarter funds. The next thing you know, they're opening up a studio in Germany. near Crytek over all those guys out there. That's why they're working with Crytek because they're so close to them. Then they have a studio in Europe, in like London or whatsoever. So they have like 7 or 8 studios. So now all these studios are using Skype and they're like conferencing. And the Germans are working on the Squadron 42 game, which is like basically like a basic multiplayer game. And like the Vancouver and like the Americans are working on this dude has made a mini Activision or mini EA out of like this Kickstarter game because they have like 6 studios. Each of those studios might have 200-300 people at them, Carl. You know, it's like crazy how much money he's built to build these studios and hire up all these artists and developers. And there's no real date for when this comes out. The people have originally Kickstarted. I think we're in year 3 or 4 of this game being out.
And still no end in sight.
There's no end in sight. I mean, they have this development roadmap, and they're at beta version.
I think they were waiting to have like just a big old farm of iMac Pros,
right?
The $14,000.
Just waiting on that software to help them out, right? And that hardware. It's interesting. That's the most interesting Kickstarter story yet. You know, of like, because that's kind of what's ruining the game industry a little bit. This like pay to get into the beta, you know, so people are paying for a game that's not finished, feeling like they're helping create it. When it's like just to me, it's just a new pay model. Of getting
I mean, again, it's going back to, you know, memberships and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, in a way, it's putting all the risk on the consumer and none on the
right. I mean,
I'm sure he got it after that massively successful Kickstarter. I'm sure investors got involved, and I'm sure there's other money there, but
has to be. They've opened up like 5 or 6 studios around the world.
Yeah,
build this game, you know.
Yeah,
200-300 people apiece or more. It's crazy. Crazy all the hostile takeovers and all the like suing and stuff going on. With that,
all right, Joe. It's getting late.
You're the inspiration. You bring feeling to my life. You're the inspiration.
Whoops. Perfect timing. Thank you, sir.
I love the audio.
I am going
like 5 of them.
Nice.
I want to share with you guys. I want to make sure it's the right one. Yes.
Hey, for the show.
Yes.
Yeah, cool.
So this is, let me see. What's his name?
What is this?
Sylvain Mark.
Yeah, he did all the designs for
Boxtro?
Yeah, but for Corpse Bride he was involved with that.
Oh, really?
Box Trolls, yeah.
However, I wanted it. This is the one that got me. And this is a while ago because they canceled this movie.
Oh, that would have been
They
awesome.
shouldn't have canceled it.
Oh, man.
They went with something else instead of this movie, too. What was it? And it bombed.
That's really good. So this is some concept art for Popeye. Sony Pictures Animation was working on a Popeye movie.
Yo, Sony was smart. They just do the
and I was so excited about it because the art direction was
it was pretty
cool.
Spectacular.
Okay.
I love this dude's work.
It looked good too. I remember like that trailer.
Yeah, the style. Yeah,
super crisp. It probably was gonna look amazing in iMac or whatever. Like just crisp.
Yeah. So if you go to Instagram.com/polyminthe, POLYMINTHE, you'll see what we're talking about.
That's good. It's good.
And it's really cool because you can see, you know, again, to deliver the idea, you don't need a lot of really over rendered things. But yeah, then you toss in some of these guys here. And it's just absolutely fantastic.
That dude looks like he just
this dude is
likes
sick.
to do police brutality for fun. Just looks like he beats equal opportunity.
And then he does like this is someone. Oh, he's using Procreate.
Like, look how sketchy it is. Look how like dead line that is. Like, it's kind of cool.
Yeah. Yeah. So this guy is.
That's Inktober stuff.
Love that stuff.
That's some black and white for you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
How dark it is, man.
Love that. Look at that,
Do that.
that nipple.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
The nipple.
Swing.
It's a sausage.
Yeah, so and apparently he has a very sweet little thank you for 10,000 followers.
That's all he has?
And if you watch it, it goes.
The cake is real dark though.
It goes, and then the little scribble goes, "Yay!" Oh shit! Look at that 2D flash animation. Hashtag animate.
Here we go.
Yeah, son.
Ain't that program dead?
We ain't dead. We just taking a nap.
He ain't dead.
So you guys take a look. There's 10,000 other people.
That dude. Yeah.
Yeah.
Blue Sky now, huh? Currently Blue Sky.
Sylvain Mark.
Oh, that's the other part of that conversation. They'll own Blue Sky.
Disney will?
Really?
Fox owns Blue Sky, don't they?
Well, I don't know.
Yes, that was the other part. Oh, but they keep it open?
Yeah, 20th Century Fox owns it.
Whoa!
Yeah, Ty, that's a little consolidation of, yeah.
They'll probably
Those folks are going to own everything, though.
I know.
I wouldn't see them keeping it open.
I'm waiting for the offer on Sketch Zone.
Yeah, the future is.
I will sell you guys.
That's crazy. I wouldn't see them keep them open. That would suck for all those people. That would suck if they close it down.
Nah, I bet they'll keep that brand going. I mean, Universal, bought out DreamWorks, and both Universals got Illumination and DreamWorks. So,
okay.
I don't know. Yeah, it depends on.
What's the new?
I mean, they got Pixar and Disney still going.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's the new Blue Sky? Is that they do Ferdinand?
Yeah, that was Blue Sky.
So that comes out today or tomorrow or whatever.
Yeah.
Looks interesting.
Chuckington, would you like to go?
Yes, I'll go. Unless Jack wants to go. I have some good stuff to show. Let me just pull it up. Yeah, that was the other thing I was like, that's like Blue Sky animation. So I kind of played this one up last week. I said I had a cool guy to show you guys, and I will deliver because that's the type of dude I am. All right. So this guy's name is Liam Wong. And he's a, like, I guess you would call him a development artist. He works over at Ubisoft, so he's kind of like an art director. But the cool thing about this that made him a little bit famous, he was on like the Collective podcast and a couple other ones. Go listen to that if you want to hear his story. But like the cool thing is, Liam went on trips, right? So he went on trips to Tokyo. And he got into photography. Photography is not his main profession. Like I said, he's an art director. It's his like secondary hobby. But he shoots these. So if we go to his Instagram too, he shoots these really cool candid pictures of street life in Tokyo, and then like color corrects and does all these crazy things. So it looks like Ghost in the Shell or like Blade Runner or some crazy anime, but it's a real picture. So his like book is called The Beauty of Night, and it's like capturing real moments and transforming them into surreal, right? So I'm gonna go over to his Instagram because that shows off a little bit better, and then we'll come back to his website. But like, check out these images, right? Isn't this cool? You guys seeing this? Here, click on here so everybody else can see it. Yeah, check out these images. Like, you would think this is like a drawing or something. Nope, it's it's just really cool. Hold on. Oh, am I missing it? Sorry, I messed it up. There. It's just a really cool. These really cool images. So let's click through these. Look at this. You know, you just messes with the photo and gets these really cool like scenes that look like they were like drawn or like CG, but they're real photos of him just getting lost in, I think, Tokyo, right? And some of them are really cool, you know. He finds these because you know how they always have those interesting guys that wear the masks over there and stuff like that. So he finds some really cool like characters, and he does some really cool post processing stuff. So the other thing about this guy is that like at Ubisoft, his day job, he's kind of like the guy that like when a new game starts off, he's doing a lot of like branding and concept art. He's kind of like building out the story so that they can push this narrative throughout their like throughout the media and stuff like that, so people can get a real understanding of what the game is, you know. And like he does his website a little differently. He like brands his stuff. He thinks about everything in terms of like how to present his work. So he'll do the vision and he'll talk about the vision, right? Then he'll talk about his journey of like venturing to Tokyo and stuff like that. And all of his like typography and stuff like that is very like well thought out and curated for a purpose. So you can see all his like different pictures and stuff like that. But at the bottom of these here, because you see all these different pictures and stuff here, right? And at the bottom of this, he goes so far as to like talk about each picture. He references anytime another publication has talked about his work and shows that up on his website with links and stuff like that. It's just the level of him explaining his work and then showing other people talking about his work. He shows it off so well on his website. So when you go to his website, you get a clear notion of like how this first run of photos that he's done, how it's being perceived out in social media and like to other people, and how all the photo blogs have picked up on it. And like, I thought it was a really elegant way of like showing off your work. So like, imagine if I had my website and then like I spent time not just showing off stuff I've done, but awards that I've won, like publications where they've shown off the site through the company I worked on, and then had all that stuff as like references. He's even taken, if you look here at the bottom, he's even taken like people's like excerpts about talking about his work and kind of like cited that. So look, he has a whole section on just press, which I thought was really cool. So like, this is a really cool image too. Look at this. This image is crazy. It looks like film concept art. But like, then he goes in and talks about and cites all the press, like where Adobe's talked about his work, and then like City Labs and like Business Insider. Like, he finds all these different like articles and then like throws it in there. So you can Canon has talked about his stuff since that's what he was using. BuzzFeed, and like he's like taking excerpts about it. Like, he's really curated his site pretty cool, like for it to be his portfolio site. And then he goes and he like has all the different places that have talked about just this piece here in general. You know, it's really cool. And then obviously he has merch too. So it's really, really cool. Check it out. It's a really cool site. Really cool way of like showing off your work and stuff.
What's the URL?
The URL is, well, on Instagram it's Liam Won, Liam LIAMWON 9, and then his website is liamwong.com, LIAMWONG.com. His work is called The Beauty of Night.
Nice.
Yep. It's really cool.
Unique.
Probably a little different.
Alex Katz is asking, does he achieve that with photo manipulation or does he paint that?
Photo manipulation. It's a real
Photo
photo that he's
manipulation.
manipulated to the point.
Yeah, because you have a lot of flexibility if you have some of these newer cameras, especially if you shoot in RAW, you have the ability to just
He is shooting in the
do
raw.
some amazing things.
Yeah, he did say that in the podcast in real listen too. He's shooting in the raw. And then going in.
So no drawing. No, not for those projects.
Those are all real images, real places.
All right, Jack, you want to show?
All right. This is a little bit odd for me.
3D.
No, it's not 3D, but Sanjana's art. Sanjana. So at first it kind of looks like some stuff out of the early 90s. You know, like these flower paintings. Like, you know, they're cool. I'm not getting too excited about this stuff, but it's all hand done. It's not digital.
Cool.
But then she starts getting into like animals and characters and stuff. And this is cool, but she's got.
I've seen her stuff before.
Hang on. Does that change?
Yeah, you're good.
Okay. So,
yeah, we might have featured this before.
No, son.
No.
Like she has a Behance page, doesn't she too?
Yeah. I just love watching this stuff, man. Like
it's crazy.
Her, if I go full screen, does that?
Yeah, you can go full screen on that.
Does that work
yeah,
better?
you're perfect, man. Oh yeah.
I don't
What
know.
is that? What is that? Ink?
This is watercolor.
Watercolor.
She's mostly watercolor. I saw some photo of her desk where she's got gouache and stuff like that. But
so she does like wet the brush, right, to the point of it being, and then like she just kind of
it's a cool. You can kind of see her technique.
That's
She
cool.
does like the outlines in ink, and then she does a wash over it to get some shading in there, and then she also does these like splotchy things, and then she goes
back over it.
Yeah, goes again for some shadows, and then it gets really cool. Oops. Really interesting when this is just her base color layer.
Dang.
Look at the wash. It's almost like gradients.
Yeah.
Well,
it's like a perfect gradient wash.
Like, how did she know how much? She's literally, you have to do that a bunch of times to just
get
confident with it, right?
The nice thing about watercolor is you can layer pretty easily. So you can, if you're not confident, you can start soft and keep at it. So that's just the one color render.
You're good right now, right?
Hang on, this is just, like, that's just cool. Like, that's great. But now she's like, okay, let's add some other colors. And she's I really like her color palettes. They're simple.
Yo, so much confidence. I'd be like, if I made something like that,
look at how much depth these feathers all of a sudden have. Now she adds
for it, like, just to put blue over top of it, like, and be confident that I'll make this look cool, even though it already looked cool.
Yeah.
So, like, I'm like, time, right? Talk to me about this, Jack, in terms of how long watercolors take to dry. Like, is she doing this all in one setting, or is she coming back a day later?
Probably. You could do it in one. I mean, I've seen people
really?
blow dryers and stuff. So then she takes she's not just doing watercolors, she's mixed media in this stuff. So she's got this pencil drawing. She's got this pencil drawing. And then she takes the pencil and she paints over it.
With like grays and
like that might not be watercolor. That could be like ink. And then she does the watercolor over it.
Whoa.
How's she getting that level of like
girl?
this
without like muddying it.
This might have some digital on it. I don't know. It's hard to tell because she did do some digital work for the game, the werewolf board game. She did all the art for that. So, and that was, she says, is digital. So it's possible. I don't know.
Blew my mind.
Here you go. Oh yeah, there you go. There you go. Okay, digital.
Oh, so that's digital. So then she scans it in because it's the perfect black and white.
Yeah, she does the pencil work and does the ink work, so she gets all the tones done.
Think about that. That's a beautiful
manually
scan to have. The paint
manually, and then she paints on that, with the hue shifting and the color overlays and all that stuff.
Pretty cool.
But look, she did all those letters herself, man. The freaking letters are all hand
Oh,
done.
it's drawn.
Yeah, these letters.
Stupid crazy.
Yeah.
So Alex Katz is asking, what do you think of Illustrator guys and vectors? Is it really art? Is it
Ooh.
is it art really art?
What, using Illustrator because it's vector?
Yeah.
It's different.
Yeah,
It's a
totally.
different art. I mean, vector is just a different algorithm rather than pixels. So, like, what's the difference? Why would Photoshop be more art than Illustrator? I mean,
Yeah.
they're both the same.
I think it's a different tool. The same way back when people were drawing with pencils, they thought people that drew with paint or painted
Very
were,
different.
it was a
Or
different thing.
people's
And then you always get the folks that always look down at because it's robotic. Meh. I mean,
well, like digital versus what we're looking at this like watercolor. They'd be like, "Is your digital really art?" Some people, some
right.
2D
And
guys would do
that's
that.
the conversation that a lot of people always have is it art if it's digital?
Yeah, of course it is.
Of course.
Right.
Yeah.
I agree. There's some people that hate
No,
it.
no. I mean, does it have as much value? Probably not, because there's not an original. It's not a one of a kind. It can be quickly and easily reproduced. But yeah, I mean, it's still totally art. It still is.
Yeah.
Right.
Yo, this is like, I just like coloring.
Yeah, and I like
Makes me want
watching.
to do watercolor.
I know, I love watching these videos. It's just like mesmerizing.
Dude,
She's got some really cool music to it too, so you
I'm
can
a
just sit
dude.
here and put
Started
it
She
on.
actually does have really great music on her videos, and that's what drew me to it at first. I was like, "Oh, that's a good song," and then I kept watching, and I was like, "Dang!"
You know what I would do? I would watch this video. I'm gonna grab me something to eat, and I'm gonna sit here and just watch this video. That's what I do on YouTube. Lose hours because you find some interesting art. She's like, "Man, this is good. Let's go ahead and slow this down. Take my time. I'm not done with my sandwich yet."
That's funny.
That's a good pick, Jack.
But then this one is crazy. She's just doing some typography, but look at this perfect gradient. Hang on, she's doing metallic gold that fades into an orange. Okay, but then look you get towards the end. Look at what?
What?
Dude, come
That
on,
just looks
dude.
like digital. Like you just are you serious?
Like you
That's
know,
like the perfect like Photoshop gradient you just like pulled and dragged, and it was like bang.
No. If you want to lose some time, go on YouTube and start looking up lettering, like lettering artists,
I know.
Oh yeah.
and then look up the dudes that can do pinstriping on cars. It's the same like steady hand that they like drawing on the car. The lettering stuff is ridiculous. That coloring though takes it to a different level though. They say that's a lost art, right? Like
Oh, the lettering.
the typography guy, like,
Typography, yeah.
what's it called? The sign work? What is it called? I guess it is lettering, like for like
Yeah.
signs and stuff. How guys used to have to do it like by hand, like that. Like how she
Yeah. But it's cool because if you go to designrecharge.com, that's a podcast that she's been on our show, and she's a friend of mine. Diane Gibbs hosts a lot of those hand letterers and font designers and graphic designers and stuff like that. Yeah, it's just really cool to see some of those people designing
I
and
you like
doing
that steady of a
things. And,
hand, man. My little girl had a recital tonight for Christmas, and I kept noticing my phone, my hand was like slightly shaking. I was trying not to have like a shaky camera because I was videotaping her. I don't know. I'd be so like nervous as an artist, especially if you're like drawing on cars or you're having to do some kind of sign. Like even like having that perfect like gradient purple piece that's awesome, right? To then start throwing colors on top of it and like being okay with your like self-confidence to like, I'll be good. I know how to do this. I'm not
Yeah.
gonna mess this like 4-hour painting up that I've already did. It just keeps adding colors on top of it.
And that's for me, again, I know I always talk about this, but for me, like being able to go digital is so wonderful because I'm always so worried about wasting money. So I'm gonna draw like, and the funny thing is, I have like I have all kinds of sketchbooks and stuff just laying all around.
It's all kind of money spent.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny because yeah, like there's a bunch of robots and aliens, like early robots and alien stuff in this one. But then I remembered that I had it, and so I drew a witch's house in there. So
It's the one thing that I struggle with internally in college in the first 2 years when you have to do all the fundamental stuff.
yeah.
I literally was like, I remember fundamental design when you're doing all the point line planning, you have to work with the ink. I think the reason why I stay up late now is because like 2 or 3 times I've had what I deem to be a perfect homework assignment and I've wasted ink over the whole thing.
Yeah,
And I
that's
had to stay
another.
up all night. And it's a constant like scare every time I had to do anything of like, it wouldn't be because I'm clumsy. It'd be because like something happened
Yeah.
at the night, chain of events, and
Yep.
it always made it over to something I need to turn in to keep perfect. And get,
Well, you remember those in design theory ones that the entire purpose of them was to be perfect? And
That's
like,
the ones I'm talking about.
yeah, and if you messed up, you had to start all over. Oh my god.
I started over 3 or 4 times
Yeah.
one time in one night. It was a rough first 2 months of college. I was like, this is gonna be a
Yeah,
doozy.
they start you off with those classes.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
You gotta
my,
draw,
my
like,
stupid butt.
perfect circles without a compass and with like just
Right. And then my stupid butt, like
50% gray
parents.
shade.
It's so crazy. Because I would listen to my parents and then like they'd be like, just wake up bright and early and keep the same schedule. So it was always at 8 o'clock in the morning, like for that first time. So like I had no time to like get some sleep and wake back up and do it before class. You had to stay up all night. If you messed it up at like 11 o'clock, I did it like twice in one night. I was heated. I see my roommate came out and was like, "What's going on?" I was like, I just cussed him out. I was like, "Get back in your room. Just don't come out here." I had to apologize the next day. I was just like heated. And it was like the ink or like your rapidograph pen or whatever one time exploded. Like something happened and like as I'm holding it, I see ink coming out of my hand like it's the Black Plague and like all over my work.
And it's not even just that. I mean, it doesn't have to explode. Like how many times have you been putting down a nice line and then the tip of the pen goes against the hard part of the paper and then it kind of spreads a little bit?
Yeah. And you know they're gonna take points off.
Yeah. And you're so close.
I think who would I have? I think randomly I had Bart Woodstrup. And he said the first class, no one in this class will get an A.
How dare you,
I was like,
he was like that. Yep.
I was like, I looked around. I was like, what did I get I could have went and got a nice liberal arts degree. Partied in the evening. I was like, no one is gonna get an A. It intrigued me. I got excited, but that wore off after 3 weeks. Yeah, that wore off real quick. Or those other things where you had to use the Bristol paper.
Yeah,
build those geometric shapes.
Because you do the 2D theory class, and then you got to do the 3D where you're basically making like chocolate boxes all day, but like crazy like pyramid boxes. Like,
you got to make sure they're looking for you. You got to make sure the glue's not on it. You got to be. If you weren't that dude in like preschool to be like really, really like precise with your gluing your stuff together, in college, the college version of yourself is just as freaking clumsy. And like people come in with just rubber cement all over it. Like you're gonna get a D for this based off your craftsmanship. Right?
Hey Alex, what are you studying in school? Alex is a first year, I'm assuming, artist.
She was asking if we did descriptive geometry, which is sort of what we're talking about.
Oh, yeah, that's what it was.
And she's like, I hate this shit. It's so hard.
Because you had the
Did
2D
you guys-
one.
Did you guys ever have to build a chair out of cardboard?
I didn't do the chair, but I had all the like
Chair.
crazy like
You had all the
trapezoid.
dodecahedrons and like
Yeah, that's weird stuff.
Oh. I wanted to be an
It was with
architect.
Bristol
Alex
paper.
is studying to be an architect.
Oh, I'm sorry. Those
that
those
is
design
not-
classes are times 10.
Those,
I've had a buddy that was doing that. Yeah.
especially the first year starting ones, because I took some of those and I immediately was like, architecture is not what I thought it was.
Yo, because
She said, "Yeah, man, and you can't ditch." No.
Yep, because then
Nope.
you don't get to be staying. You don't get to stay in the program. You have to go through that in order to like. Because then don't they weed people out
Oh,
like
you know
that
what?
way?
Yeah, they do.
Hang on, because I think I just got someone to do my homework. Alex, can you do me a favor? We do a
Really doing this right now?
Sketch Zone fun prompt every week, and this week it's not like on
Is this
the
legal?
no.
You're full of mechs.
Yeah, we have to draw a spacious hangar filled with mechs.
You don't want your perspective. Listen to him right now.
So I'm thinking, Alex.
You can collab.
I think this is a really good exercise for you.
I don't think you can do this. I think it's cheating right now.
I'm not cheating. I'm
Recruiting.
You collab? Is it collab?
I'm delegating.
Look, Carlos never pauses for anything. He had to pause and think about what am I doing?
I'm like, how am I going to shovel this big old pile?
You should do it. If she starts doing it,
Who said that that's not part of the fun prompt? You gotta, some people are drawers, other people's are delegators and managers.
Jack, you're an enabler.
Maybe so. Maybe so. Some people are enablers.
Everybody, it's room for everybody in the front prompt.
Exactly.
That's it. We got to
No
get
matter-
it.
Charlie.
No matter the skill set.
Just turn this around on me. Am I being fun prompt racist?
Yes, you are. You're being a promptist.
A promptist?
Fun promptist.
You're anti-fun
I'm
promptist.
so sorry. I apologize. Mistakes were made.
Let's go ahead and wrap it up.
Wrap it up.
Hey Charlie, where can
Yeah.
people find you?
Well, if you want to find me, you can find me on my website, which is cargocollective.com. So that's Charlie B. Williams. You can find me on Instagrams, which is
Graham.
Check it out. I'm going to a really cool, my favorite restaurant tomorrow for lunch. I'll show you what it is. Nini's Deli. Shout out to them.
McDonald's. Oh,
Wani Worldwide, owner over there. He also has a clothing line. Shout out to him. It's a really good deli. Cuban stuff. You'd love it.
yeah, son.
Uh,
It's about time someone got
you
it
can
right.
Find me on Facebook at my Facebook page, RBW3. It's
Book the Fotch.
Twitter, CBW3. I'm on there. And then at Almighty Pinterest. You need some inspiration, some good stuff to look at. Go on mine. I pin like my life depends on it. Charlie BW3.
Like your life
In your
depends
life.
on it.
Yeah, you get it? Yeah. Oh yeah, go out and see Star Wars. Comes out this year.
Hell yeah, dude. Hey Jack, where can people find you?
You can find me at sketchbookjack.com and sketchbookjack on the Instagrams, where I post most of my fun prompts, because I'm not a fun promptist. Fun promptist.
You sound like you said fun prompts.
Sketchbookjack on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and Pinterest.
Get it in your life. And Carlos.
Oh, that's me.
Where you at?
You can find me at coconutjustice.com, Coconut Justice everywhere else. Hey, Alex Katz has just subscribed to us. Thank you, Alex. We hope to see
thank
you
you.
every week.
Come back.
Tell your friends. We're here every week, Thursday
Excellent.
nights. Well,
That's on
Thursday
Twitch,
nights
too.
where we are here in the U.S.
Friday mornings in the Aussie land.
Mhm.
Yeah. And you can find us all over the place, Sketch Zone Podcast. We're if you go to sketch.zone, you'll be able to see everywhere. All of our links are there. We're on Instagram. We're on Twitter at Sketch Zone. Instagram is the Sketch Zone. Do you guys use DeviantArt? Not for Sketch Zone, but I think some of us do. At least a lot of usually we have a guest of some sort, and a lot of our guests use DeviantArt. But you can find us on, if you're watching, do exactly what Alex does, what Alex did. She subscribed to us.
Good.
So there's a convenient little button right there that you can just click on and you'll get alerted. But if you can't catch us live, if you can catch us live, you can participate in the chat and everything. But if you can't, obviously we're on YouTube because you just subscribed, and you can find us on Stitcher, SoundCloud, Google Play Music, and subscribe to us on YouTube.
Twitch.
And Twitch. Yeah.
Twitch. We're live on
Yeah,
Twitch.
we're live on Twitch. Sorry, Twitch fam. So yeah, I think that's it for us. Everyone, please have a wonderful week.
See you guys.
Bye, Alex.